What's up, America? Neil here with Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Canik Executive. So let's get started. Alright, so you guys know I'm not a big unboxer, I don't really care, but here's the box. It's a nice plastic box, like you would expect from any gun. Well, let's take a look what's inside. You get your standard fare of manuals and crap. It does have a cleaning brush, along with a rod if you want to use this for cleaning. I would imagine most people probably have some form of general equipment before they get a gun, but whatever. Here we have a second back strap, so you get two, one that's on the gun and this one. You have your wrench. By the way, do not lose this wrench, or at least have one nearby, and make sure that you torque your barrel nut down pretty good on this one. Okay, this is the thread protector right there, because if you don't, I promise you after a few mags you will no longer have that on the end of your gun. So use that guy to tighten that down. You also get a plate. It's numbered 01. I believe this one is for the Vortex Viper, but they have several others. You'll notice on the side of it as well, it has a little screw opening, which I will show you what that's for in a minute. But that would go on the gun to replace if you wanted to put an RMR style on there, on the gun itself. These two screws are going to come out, and this is going to come off. One thing to note, people have mentioned in the past that when you do that, you're going to be losing your rear sight, and that is a fact. So if that's an issue for you, no, that's part of the deal. Then we got, and this is where Canik kind of threw me off. This is the Canik holster that comes with it, and it is obviously not a flashlight ready model, but for a actual holster that comes with a gun, this was pretty impressive. I mean, if I bought this, I would not be unhappy with it. It's got retention. It's basically, for all intents and purposes, a Kydex holster. I've seen a bunch of different versions, so they've been updating this over time. There's one with like this weird push thing that locks it in retention, and there was another one with all these wheels and stuff. I don't know. Never been too impressed with holsters that came with guns, but this one is probably the best one I've seen. It's even got some pretty decent retention clips there. I'm not a big clip fan. I like loops, but nonetheless, this holster will definitely get you through and do a decent job. So I gotta give them credit on that. You get an amazing magazine loader. It's really not amazing. You're going to get two magazines. I'll show you those in a minute. You get this space age lock. I've never really figured out how to use it. It's got this NASA key. I don't know. I never really cared, but you do get that. Okay. Then you get your box of stuff in your little Canik box. And now, oh, by the way, I know a bunch of people are like, it's Canik. Well, I'm in America, so that's what I say. It comes with two fiber optic replacements. So the red one is already on the gun when you get it. I actually prefer green, and maybe one of these days I'll get around to doing that with my free time. Then you get a bunch of little accessories in here. This is what I was talking about earlier. So when we're talking about that plate, you can actually screw this in, and then you get kind of a charging handle, if you will, to rack your gun for competition or whatever use you'd have for that. Then we have three, I guess technically four, all in all, but comes with three actual magazine extensions. I'm trying to get these all out, okay? And I say four because you can take them all off like I did, and you have a very good magazine release. I've never been with a bunch of extended widgets on my gun, so it is what it is, but if you want to, I'll just throw this guy on here real quick. That thing sticks out incredibly far. If you can't hit that, I would assume you have no fingers. Let's talk features. So this gun happens to be packed full of features. You're going to get 2 magazines. Both are going to be the standard 15, but one of them comes with a +3 base plate, and it is aluminum. So that's pretty nice. Then we look at the barrel. That is not Cerakote. That is a PVD coated barrel. So increases its lubricity and also its durability. I haven't had anywhere reasonable like you would with Cerakote with about 1,000 or 2 that we put through the gun so far. So far it's been holding up very well. And it is a barrel made by Salient Arms. So it is supposed to be an increased marksman style barrel for accuracy. I can tell you that this gun certainly can outshoot me. No doubt about that. Let's talk sights. So for me, when I'm looking for sights, there's 2 things that are important to me. And whether they're night sights or not isn't one of them. What's important to me is that the sights are made of metal and they have a combat edge, which is exactly what these sights have. This is extremely beefy. Kind of reminds me of a SIG style rear sight, which also I've always been impressed with, but it has a very clean edge on it. I can catch this on anything, tables, pants, belt lines, whatever I need to do. If I need to manipulate the gun one-hand style, these sights are pretty robust. That said, the front sight is also steel, but it has a fiber optic like you've seen earlier. It has a red rod in it, but you can also change it out to green, which at some point, when I get around to it, I probably will. Where I talked about the plate, you can take those 2 screws off and put an RMR style sight on there if that's your jam. It's not for me, but doesn't make it bad, just not for me. As you can see, you got a full rail down here. You can put any type of light on there. This is a TLR1, pretty common light. We also have a thread protector on there. Make sure you tighten that up or you will not have that very long. And then of course we have an extended and ambidextrous slide lock, slide lever from whatever camp you want to be from. But that is easy to fit, easy to hit. And one of the things that I've always had an issue with my larger hands on smaller sized guns or medium sized guns is manipulating that slide lever when I don't want to. So typically guns won't lock open for me because my aggressive thumbs forward grip tends to touch that during shooting and it doesn't lock open. For whatever reason, the magic of the Canik, I don't know, but I have not experienced that at all. It's locked open every time on this one. So pretty impressive, and it is very easy to hit. No issues whatsoever. We have the magazine release. It is not ambidextrous, but I believe you can swap it from one side to another by the way it looks right here. I'm a right-hander, so I don't really do that. But you can make that as big as you want. That thing will stick out a mile outside of that if you want to add those additional extensions that come with the gun. So let's talk about the Magwell. And actually, before I get into Magwell, there's 2 grips. So you have the one that comes in the box and this one, so you can customize that to fit your hand. But it does come with the Salient Arms aluminum, very nice, Magwell. Now the one thing I have found through experience of using this, the one little nick I could say against the gun, and there's 2 of them, is that the Magwell attaches with the screw in the back right where the rear grip is, right where the back strap is. And for me, being that I have larger hands, when I go and grasp the pistol, especially in a higher speed drill or something like that with some stress where I'm really grabbing it onto the gun, I can actually feel the front of that Magwell, okay, and the front strap start to kind of separate a bit from the grip. So I think to improve the product, to make it better, if there was another way where they put some type of set screw or something in the front of that, that would hold it much firmer without any movement. But I can definitely feel when I go to pick that, when I grab that pistol, I can feel that my fingers are pushing down on that and separating that a little bit, and it moves. Nothing major, but something that I noticed, and I think that could be easily fixed. If you don't have large hands, that won't be a problem. So then we have the grip. The other thing I could say would be improved upon is the grip itself, not the angle. I love the grip angle, but the texturing. So, and I get it, the sides are very smooth. So if you're going to carry the gun a lot, being smoother is kind of an advantage. But typically, I think this gun's more going to be set up for more competitive shooting. I mean, I would carry it. But even so, I'd still like to have that with a little bit more traction on there. That is really, really smooth. It's one of the first things I'd like to probably do if I'm going to modify this gun at all, is some type of stippling to improve that, or grip tape, whatever you want to use. But the sides are very, very smooth. The front and the rear are a little bit better. They kind of feel like a CZ style texture, kind of those pyramids, but not quite as aggressive. And then we have the trigger guard, which I pleasantly through the whole winter been fantastic. One of my gripes, as you guys know about me and Glocks, is I'm not a fan of the size of the opening there. This is significantly bigger, so when you do have gloved hands and you're shooting like that, I've had no issues. I have total confidence I'm going to be able to get in there and either press a trigger or not when I need to. In addition to the stippling on the side, they also put actual spots in the gun that are stippled from the factory as far as index. So when I put my hand on the gun and I just put my finger at rest here, there's a nice little spot there that lets me know I'm right where I want to be. Let's get controversial now. I like to do press checks. I know that some people, like, their heads are exploding right now. I don't really care. If you want to do press checks, do them. If you don't, don't. But since I do like them, there are front serrations here, and I like those. They're very aggressive. They're very easy to manipulate. I have no issues. Along with the serrations in the rear, both very, very good. So according to the MSRP on the website, it's $780, which is unbelievable to me. And again, this is the executive. So this has got every bell and whistle that Canik puts on a pistol right now. You get it. And for $780, that's pretty incredible. Considering the fact that most of the time, during most normal times I should say, you're going to find pistols that are significantly below their MSRP. So you're basically getting, we'll call it anywhere from $700 to $800 pistol that I would say probably has close to $2,000 worth of additional accessories right out of the box. But we still haven't talked about the number one best thing about this pistol. This trigger is ridiculous. I had a competitive shooter pick this up the other day, and he said it felt like his 2011, which is an unbelievable compliment for a polymer gun. But this trigger is super fat. It's got a little bit of take up. We'll show more in a little bit, but there's the wall. It's got a crazy crisp break. And then this reset is unbelievable. Look at that. Unbelievable. So we're going to put some rounds down range here and check out the accuracy. And again, remember, this one does have the Salient Arms barrel in here for additional accuracy. Made it with this trigger. This is going to outshoot 99.99% of everybody, myself included. So here we go. So let's stop for a quick embarrassing story. Now, obviously, I'm the owner of Geauga Firearms Academy. I'm a certified armorer. And one of these guns happened to come into my home range, and I was talking to another person, and I figured I'd show him this gun, which I have never used before. There is, in fact, this little card that comes with it that says, "Read this first, dummy." Of course, I did not read this first because I'm an armorer and all. I know everything there is to know about guns. And so I then took the gun apart and then tried to reassemble the gun. Now, just for the record, okay, it is about as easy of a gun to take apart as I've ever seen in my life. It doesn't get much easier than that. However, it's not like most guns. And when I say that, it kind of has like that Glock pinch to take it apart, press trigger, all that stuff, make sure it's clear. However, do not take the slide and start from the back like you would 99% of other guns and try to put it on. Unless you would like to embarrass yourself, as I did. What's actually going to occur is about halfway, so right about where my finger is, there's a little cutout, which you're going to match up with the slot on the very first part of the gun. And so all you have to do is line it up just like that, okay? Super simple, and you're done. It's amazingly easy to assemble and disassemble, unless you try to do it the traditional way. It will end badly, as it did for me. So there's a small things that I would say could be improved, like attaching that magwell in the front and a little bit more aggressive stippling on the side. That's kind of a personal preference. This is not personal preference. So it comes with 2 magazines, as I said. I bought some more. So what I bought was, I believe, the 18 and a 20 or 21 without an extension, just the Canik magazines, which, by the way, clearly states that fit all Canik pistols. Well, here's what happens. So when you go and insert the magazine with some force, like you're doing a reload, because there's no base plate like on the extension or the flat 15 that fits flush inside there, what happens is the magazine over-inserts. And so the slide itself, when I go and insert it, and I go to press the slide release, again, I'm not getting into, you do whatever you want, but when I go to press that or pull it back, it stays locked open, right? So I tried it with the 18 rounder, I tried it with the 20 or 21, I can't remember which one it was, but neither one of them worked. So I said, well, that's wrong. So I called Canik, which they didn't answer, and I understand due to the time, so I sent them an email. And they reached out to me back and forth, and they basically said, well, we understand the problem. It's going to be your extractor, and we're going to send you a new one. I said, don't send me a new one. That's ridiculous. That would be like saying, there's something wrong with your tire, so we're going to give you a new seatbelt. The extractor has nothing to do with the issue. What has to do with the issue is that at the very back of the magazine, and I didn't bring them, but I took a file, and it took me about 30 seconds, and I filed the very rear tip of the magazine. And when I did that, when I would go and insert the magazine, when I dropped the slide or pulled it back to let it go forward, it would kind of bump a little bit and then go into battery, and I had no issues. So the fix to the problem was to file these little corners down. But clearly, that's not right. You shouldn't have to try to modify your magazines in order to get them to fit when it says they should. What do I think Canik should have done? What I think they should have done was taken my old ones back, sent me new ones, and then taken a look at them. And the reason they said they wouldn't do that is because I bought them from someone other than Canik, which, by the way, I bought them from someone else because Canik was sold out. And they are Metgar magazines with the Canik logo on there, so I know they're legit. So that's my only real gripe with this gun and the issue. So if you feel free to comment below, but if you get an extended magazine, an 18 or a 20, and you try to put it in this gun and you over-insert it, you're going to find that the slide will hiccup on you or lock open, and you won't be able to put it in battery. Alrighty guys, so that is the review on the Canik Executive. Pretty awesome pistol. I can't really say a whole lot of bad things about it. For the price that you're getting this at, it's a tremendous value, and I highly, highly recommend it. You know where to find us, of course, here on YouTube. We are now on Rumble and Twitter, and I'm putting all our A-list stuff on Patreon. And remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.